Well, hello there, and welcome back to Naval Action with me, Sorvestion. And in this video, I'm going to be covering blueprints. So, what are blueprints? Well, blueprints basically let you craft stuff in Naval Action. You can make anything that you have a blueprint for. Now, there are three different kinds of blueprints. You have your material blueprints, you have your upgrade blueprints, and you have your ship blueprints. Now, blueprints, like I said, they let you make different things. They have level requirements. So to make my Essex here, I have to have a minimum crafting level of 30. And they also give you a certain amount of experience for crafting that item, whether it be a ship or a material or an upgrade. So for one of my favorites, iron ingots, I get 1 experience for every iron ingot that I craft. And it requires a crafting level of 0. So what that means is all of the material blueprints and all of the upgrade blueprints you get as soon as you make a new character. Ship blueprints are a little bit different. When you make a new character, you're not going to have access to all of the ships. Instead, what you get is access to just kind of like certain entry ships. And as your crafting level increases, you'll unlock access to certain new entry level ships. So for example, the Cerberus. Once I reached crafting level 15, I automatically got the Cerberus blueprint. I didn't have to go out and try and get it from someone, or I didn't have to do anything to get it. I just automatically got it for reaching crafting level 15. Same thing with the frigate when I reached level 25. And what that does is it provides you kind of a jumping off point or a starting point in the ship blueprint tree progression system. So yeah, there's this big tree of ship blueprints. And, to go down the tree, you have to unlock certain blueprints in a certain order. So for example, like I have the Essex blueprint here. In order to get the Essex blueprint, I went and basically had to craft frigates. By crafting frigates, I was able to unlock the Essex blueprint. Now that's one of 3 ways in which you can get blueprints. Now, before they changed the kind of the blueprint system, it used to be that you could capture combat ships from missions or from the open world. Now, a lot of people would do that, and then they would just break the ship down by clicking, the breakup button. And that gives you a small chance to get the blueprint for that ship. So, for example, when third rates were still capturable, people would go out and they would capture them, they'd bring them back to port, and then they would break them up to get the blueprint for the third rate. Now, at this point in the game, you can only capture traders, and you can only capture player ships. So those are the only 2 types of ships that you can get blueprints from. Now, usually, if you capture a player ship, you're going to get basically a 1 Duro version of whatever ship they had. So if they had like an exceptional Santisma, then you're going to get a 1 Dura exceptional Santisma with nothing on it. If you capture a 5 Dura exceptional Trichomely, then you're going to get a Wondra exceptional trichomoly, which you could then break up if you wanted to try and get the blueprint for it. And of course, traders, if you capture a trader, then you can try and break that trader ship up to try and get the blueprint for it. However, it's a very, very small chance, so most people don't use this method. The third method is to buy blueprints from other players and then just learn it that way. And I mean, that can be rather expensive. It depends on the blueprint and it depends on the availability. My favorite way to do it is just kind of to work through the progression tree through crafting ships. Actually, yesterday I went and I crafted a Mastercraft brig. And from that Mastercraft brig, as you can see here, I got two blueprints. I got the blueprint for the Navy brig and I got the blueprint for the mortar brig, which I was very happy with that. So if I come over to equipment, you can see here I have my mortar brig blueprint and I have my Navy brig blueprint. So that's how you can get blueprints. I'm not really going to go into a lot of detail in how to go through the progression tree. Really, it depends on what you want. Like if you want every ship blueprint there is, well then you're going to have to go through the whole tree. However, if you only want to get, let's say, a Bellona blueprint, well then you don't have to start at the smaller ships. You can instead, start at the frigate. You can start crafting frigates and then you'll get the Essex blueprint and then you can craft Essexes, which will give you a chance to get the third rate or the Bellona blueprint, I think it is. Or maybe I think it's a Constitution. And then from a Constitution you have a chance to get a Bellona or a third rate. Anyways, what I'm going to do is I've put a link in the description below to a website that has all the information on the ship blueprint progression tree. And you can go and find out from that website what ships you need to craft in order to get the blueprints that you want. Now, the other reason why I'm not covering the ship blueprint progression is because there's rumors going around that they might actually change it. Right now, like I said, there's a tree and you have to kind of go through the tree in order to get to the blueprints that you want if it's not an entry-level ship. They're talking about changing that so that all the blueprints basically work like the Cerberus and the frigate and they're simply unlocked by your crafting level. So there is a chance that in the future the whole ship blueprint tree progression system will just be completely gone. And it'll just be simply based on your crafting level. Alright, so now that we've covered how to get them, let's talk about how you learn a blueprint. So, once you get a blueprint, it'll show up here in your warehouse, and as long as you meet the minimum crafting level requirement, you can learn it. And you can do that by simply right-clicking on it and use. Are you sure you want to use mortar brig blueprint? Yes, I really do want to learn this blueprint. Alright, and it's gone, and I'm going to do the same thing for my Navy brig blueprint. Confirm. Alright, so if I go back to crafting, shipbuilding, here we go. The mortar brig blueprint and the Navy brig blueprint are there in my list of known ship blueprints. And once you've learned a blueprint, then you'll be able to see everything you need to craft that ship, as well as the minimum crafting levels required for increasing its quality, and what kind of notes you need to craft that ship. Now, once you've learned a blueprint, it becomes impossible to get that blueprint through crafting ships. So, like I showed you, I crafted a Mastercraft brig. I got the mortar brig and I got the navy brig blueprints. If I went and tried to craft brigs again, I will never get any more mortar or navy brig blueprints. That's just the way it works now. So once you've learned a blueprint, you can no longer get them through crafting ships or through breaking ships up. So the people that sell blueprints to other players, they craft ships, but instead of using the blueprint, they just keep it in their warehouse and then they trade it to other players. You can't put blueprints up in the shop. It has to be traded directly between players for whatever amount that you agree to sell it, or you agree to sell it for, and so the people selling it basically never learn the blueprint. If they want to do ship crafting, then they're going to have to learn the blueprint, and then they'll no longer be able to get that blueprint, so they'll never be able to sell that blueprint ever again once they've learned it. So that's really important to know. So blueprint's not really something that you can make money off of. If you want to be a high-level crafter, if you really want to get into shipbuilding, then basically all the blueprints that you get, you're going to learn, because you're never going to get duplicates of that blueprint. And as you go through the ship blueprint progression tree, you're going to unlock different blueprints until you basically get up to the Santisma. The Santisma blueprint is the last one. Crafting Santismas doesn't give you blueprints anymore because it is the biggest and kind of best ship, and there's really nothing after that. So the Santisma blueprint is really the end of the tree. So one more thing I wanted to talk about before I finish this video off are notes. So you can see here low-grade notes, mid-grade notes, and eventually high-grade notes are all in the shipbuilding section, and they are unlocked by your crafting level. So the mid-grade note, or sorry, not the mid-grade, the low-grade note you get automatically when you first start out. The mid-grade note is unlocked at level 15, and I think the high-grade notes are unlocked at level 35. So they're unlocked by level, and those allow you to basically craft higher quality ships. You don't need notes to craft ships, so if I just want to craft a basic, you can craft a basic ship without requiring any notes whatsoever. The same thing with upgrades. Just to craft basic boarding axes requires no notes, and the higher the quality, the more notes. So they're kind of like their own kind of like little blueprint mechanic. So anyways, this has been Sorvastion in Naval Action covering blueprints. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos about naval action, and I'll catch you next time. Take care and happy sailing.